The hottest street boys.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, it's a mustache bash. Is this for whoever has the best mustache? This is ridiculous. I can't believe y'all are doing this right now. Ain't nothing better than an upper lip sweater. Obviously, Tate is the clear winner. It is a whole vibe.
Whew, man, that was a very intense mustache bash, and so I appreciate you not hurting me, going easy on me.
Absolutely.
I knew I wasn't gonna win. Like, you're not supposed to enter a fight that you know you're gonna lose, but I had to try because your mustache is very much a part of your brand. Taymas Taqueria, D Tate, Dustin Tate. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Drew. Glad to be here, man.
Dude, super excited to have you. We've been talking about this forever. Jamie's been saying forever, like, we got to get this guy on the show. I'm like, well, yeah, because your tacos are killer. But tell me, how'd you get into making food? You know, because it's Thanksgiving week. Food's on the brain. How'd you get into it, though?
So my culinary background originally, I started cooking just like in a regular restaurant when I was about 15. And from that, I just fell in love with it. Left Pedal, moved to my dad's in Gulf Shores. After I graduated high school from there, I moved to Houston, Texas. Got in the culinary underbelly out there. Lived in Kingwood for about 2 years. Came back to Gulf Shores, and a food scene was kind of like starting to implement in that town with Orange Beach, and you know, there's a lot of concentrated wealth there, so there's a lot of bougie, ritzy type of food scene going on, if you will. And I was just like, this is my chance to, you know, get in on the ground floor and try to learn from significant chefs. And that's where I met Brody Olive and Jason Ramirez, and we helped Lane Gilbert open Villaggio Grill. And all those people came from Charleston, South Carolina, eventually to Birmingham, Alabama, and then they all trickled down to me. And Jason and Brody are now the chefs of Perdido Beach Resort, and I think it's got like 5 restaurants in it. But the most significant restaurant inside of it is Voyager's Steakhouse. It's kind of like a high-end, like prime cuts. Like, they have a venison steak on the menu that's pretty good. Their dry age technique, if you were to like walk in the back, it's like, y'all remember like those old like filing cabinet systems like back in the day with like the crank? So essentially it's like that, but it's a refrigerator with salt blocks. And like you walk in there and they like open up this crank and like it looks like where the mountain from Game of Thrones would live or something. And it's all this like hanging meat and shit. And you're just like, whoa, what's going on? And then at that time, you know, talking to those guys, I was like, man, like I didn't know what I was doing when I was doing it. You know, and the fact I made soup for them and eventually took over another concept that we started, you know, I just stuck with it, and I was very young. And unfortunately, like during that time, I had 2 friends that cooked with me, and their names were, or not 2 friends that cooked with me, but I had 2 buddies. One cooked with me, and his name was Taylor Powell, a very good friend of mine, and the other one was Mason Teixeira. And, you know, long story short, I was about 25 and they both passed away, and it took a pretty big toll on me. And I didn't know how to fathom it really. And I kind of went in and out and just kind of came hard to be around. I kind of hardened myself and I worked all the time, you know, and I didn't want my career to go to shit. So essentially I was like, I've got to step away from this. I can't do it anymore. I can't maintain the hours. In a nutshell, I need to go have some Tate time, you know? And I did, and I got away and I moved back here, and, you know, I just got to know my mom, and next thing you know, a buddy of mine was like, hey, I know you're just trying to hang out, but Southbound's hiring and they just need like a daytime cook, you know, if you want to go check that out. So I walk in and I meet Nelson Haskins, and that's pretty much where Taymas started, man. I started getting to know everybody in downtown. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the people. I found out this guy was doing a podcast, and essentially I made this a goal at that time. I was like, I'm gonna get on that show. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. And
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. I woke up today, and I looked at Rachel and I was like, you know, babe, I did it. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm going on the Hardy Street Boys today. And she was like, you just do everything you say you're going to do. And I was like, one way or another, man.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But that just led to, you know, Brian Saffel, Kyle Bowman, Allison Neville, and several other people, including Kyle Bass. And one day Kyle just put out this post, you know, I'm gonna be building this commissary. If anybody'd like to get a food truck going, and my heart just like exploded. I was like, you got to go talk to him. You got to go do this. And I sat down with my buddy Kyle Bowman, and he was like, dude, just go for it. Meet with him. So I meet with Kyle. He's like, dude, absolutely. Just start saying it out loud. Like, somebody will find you, or you'll find somebody. Long story short, I spent 4 weeks developing a business plan, meeting people, and including the person who helped me write the business plan and get everything on the ground floor going. That was Caleb Davis. And within a 4-week time span, from the time I spoke about Taymas till the end of that 4 weeks, we were up and running. And our first day was Hub Fest.
Yeah.
Behind Keg and Barrel.
Well, dude, you have such a great operation going. The birria is insane. My thing is, like, how did you get into this type of cuisine? What speaks to you about Mexican cuisine?
You know, in the culinary scene back there, most cooks are Mexican, and you're spending, you know, 12 hours to 14 hours a day, and, you know, you're serving the same thing over and over again. But when you have like downtime, dive into everybody's different culture and background. Like, you know, this guy's from Mexico City, this guy's from Oaxaca, you know, this guy's from Michoacan. And I just started, man, just learning like broken kitchen English or Spanish around them. And my first day actually in a professional kitchen was 3 chefs, all executive chefs. 2 were from Charleston, 1 was from Birmingham. And they brought their friend Juan with them. And Juan didn't speak any English, and he was who trained me. So imagine like you're walking in with all these egos, and you're just trying to learn. And not only do you have to learn another language because of the language barrier, but you have to just keep going. And, you know, Juan Mendez, he was a good friend of mine. I'm sure he's still there. I haven't talked to him in a long. I can't keep track with him. But he was a DJ in Mexico City, 82 to 86. So he saw some crazy.
Yeah, that dude's got some stories.
Oh man, you could sit with him for just hours and just laugh and laugh and laugh. Honestly, just it was all random and kind of an accident, but just being around different folks in different kitchens.
So yeah, man, that's really cool that it's like this appreciation that you have for another culture, really, that made you really want to get into it.
And now it's time for Jamie eats things, but he can't.
We'll get to it for sure. I just want to ask him a few more. We'll do it for sure. You got the mask?
Yeah, I got my mask.
But yeah, so you're trying to shift now towards breakfast and lunch, especially with the World Cup, because it's in Qatar. The games are on early. So I've eaten there for dinner tons of times, but that's kind of what your focus is now, right?
Yeah. Breakfast and lunch. We've been doing like, if you've ever been to Austin, Texas, we've been doing authentic breakfast tacos. I mean, you know, we haven't been serving Migos or chilaquiles or anything like that, but we'll get there, you know.
Yeah. What's your favorite breakfast item that you can prepare?
My favorite breakfast item that I can prepare is the carnitas hash bowl.
Okay.
It's pretty killer. Everybody's been diving in on it. I'm not sure if Jamie's had it, but yeah. I put it on the menu once. It was like for the Saints game, and everybody went wild, and I was like, we have to make this happen.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Jamie eats food, but he can't.
We'll get to it. I promise we'll get to it. I'm not trying to be. We'll get to it. But I just want to hear what he has to say. He's like, this is actually really insightful. So what's the toughest thing about owning your own business and going out on your own? Because you're a brave guy. We had Nelson Haskin on last week. I love that. It seems like everything he touches turns to gold, but you're the first like person we've had on where there's been a very obvious influence from him. What have you learned from him, and what do you think about most, and what's it like to be a small business owner in Hattiesburg?
Man, 6 words that Nelson Haskins lives and dies by is, "This is the life I chose." And that, I mean, if you're taking on any type of business, from what I've learned, you don't know what you're doing till you do it. And even if you've done it for 100 years, if it's yours and you're on your own and there's nobody else there, you've never been in that situation before. But at the end of the day, you can't break down, you can't burn out. You just have to tell yourself, this is the life I chose. But man, Nelson, gosh, we've had so many philosophical talks in the back of Southbound, and just like how people work and click, and how certain people don't work and click, and what makes your business better and what can hurt your business. But dude, man, I'm just telling you, downtown is a people person place, and Nelson Haskins is a people person. And I mean, you know, like, of course it hurt, you know, telling him I was gonna leave, but I was very professional about it. And he was the first person I ever told that, you know, hey man, like I'm probably gonna bail and go do my own thing, but you know, I'll never forget where I came from. And me and Rachel and I, we went in Hattiesburgers the other night, and we probably had like a 2.5 hour talk with Nelson, because that's just the type of man he is. You know, it's like, what you been up to? You know, how's your mama? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? And you love that wholesome downtown hug.
Well, and the reason he's successful is because he wants everyone else to be successful. I found that we've gotten to talk to a lot of people around the community. Anybody who wants to clout for themselves, they might do well for a minute, but they never last. It's the people that are like, he legit wants to see everybody else do well. And I just think, yeah, he's got it, man. And you got it too. We talked recently about your attitude, man. You're just a nice guy. You're a good man who is nice to other people and just wants to do your work. You're not necessarily looking for this this shine, like just let me do my work. And I mean, people see that, dude. People notice that when it's when it's genuine. So you're killing it. So I think now, because Jamie's gonna kill me if we don't, I think
Jamie eats food, but he can't
no,
sit.
we'll definitely get to it. So after this, more D-Tate of Taymas Taqueria, and yeah, the game, Jamie eats food, but he can't see it. This episode is brought to you by Community Bank.
Community Bank.
Oh wow, there's like authority in your voice today.
Yeah, some reverb.
Click the link in the description below to find out more about using the CB2Go app and getting a financial loan officer.
Yeah.
In person.
Get a loan.
Get a loan, small business loan, small business person here, D-Tate.
Shout it from the mountaintop. I need a loan.
Yeah.
From Community Bank.
And with Community Bank, you can get a loan, but you're never alone.
You're never alone.
It works better if you see it like written out.
Sorry.
You know.
They have an app for your phone.
Member FDIC.
Equal housing lender.
All right, so now it's time for Jamie's favorite segment. Jamie eats food, but he can't see it. Everyone say it with us.
Jamie eats food, but he can't see it.
Killer. All right, so what is the first item we have up? Tate.
So our first item up for grabs is going to be the 2 barbacoa breakfast tacos.
All right.
With the cotija cheese, scrambled eggs, onion, cilantro, and I've got hot sauce in our salsa verde.
Love it.
Just
Look, yeah, give it. He's ready.
Yeah, that's a hefty taco. All right, I'm ready. We're doing this? Here we go.
Yeah, scale of 1 to 10.
It's so good. It's a 10.
So what is this?
So this is our one of our breakfast tacos. It's that I've been serving during the World Cup. So it's our birria beef, if you will, barbacoa, and it's
Oh God, I need to clean that up.
Exploding.
big golden retriever energy over there. But it's a corn tortilla, scrambled eggs, cotija cheese, and cilantro and onions, and then we've got our salsa verde and our hot sauce on the side.
Delicious, delicious. And once again, you got to go to the World Cup. you got to do it at the Keg. That's the place to watch. Out back by the big TV. That's where your truck is. And yeah, breakfast, lunch. You can be the breakfast taco place.
That's what we're trying to be, man.
That's killer. All right, what do we have next?
All right, so up next, we're probably going to have, the birria. It's our main hitter. It's your favorite.
Love it. Be careful with that sauce, Jamie.
These are some of my favorites, I know. Actually had these the other day at the game.
Yeah. So what is that broth? It's like, I equate it to like almost like au jus.
Yeah. Essentially, like that's what the birria taco is. It's like the French dip of tacos, you know, and the broth's the au jus. But all that broth is we take a ton of ancho and pasilla chilies with garlic and onion and bay leaf and also some avocado leaf. And we sear off chuck roast, paper thin, and for about 5 hours at 300, we braise it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then after all that's done, the braising liquid that's left in it is that broth.
So the stuff that you're cooking the meat in
Yes.
is what you're then dipping it in. So that's why the flavor
That's why the flavor's like
pops like that.
absolutely.
Because it's one of those, like, it tastes good without the sauce, but it's definitely enhanced. It's just like this, it's like a kung fu kick to the face. It's very, very intense.
Yeah.
So it's killer.
Strain was the word I was looking for.
Strained it. Got it. All right, what do we have next?
What we have next is this has been blowing up all week since I started doing breakfast. It's kind of girthy. It's the carnitas hash bowl. There's a fork right there, Jamie.
Be careful.
Yes.
Please
This is
be
gonna be
careful.
intense.
You can maybe even cheat and look under the mask.
Never cheat.
That's why I respect you. Cheaters never prosper. Take us through it, Jamie. What are you
Oh my
tasting?
god. The flavor of this meat is so tender and delicious. I like this.
So what kind of
This is
meat
a
is
hash
this?
bowl?
So yeah, this is the carnitas hash bowl, and it's a crispy white potato hash, and then our carnitas pork that we do. It's cooked the same way as the birria meat. Essentially, so braising is you cook for a really long time at a really low temperature, and we take pork butts and sear them off, and then we take
He said butts.
Modelo Negra, Mexican Coke, avocado leaf, onion and garlic, and orange juice and lime juice. And we braise that at 300 for about 5.5, 6 hours, because all the fat that's on a pork shoulder, it just takes forever for it to render down. So it's like a giant blanket, like if you will, around the meat. And that sits for about 24 hours, and then we break it all up. But the hash bowl's crispy white potato hash, that pork I just described, avocado smash, onion, cilantro, cotija cheese, and then our salsa verde and hot sauce on the side.
Yeah, dude, it's legit, man. What would you get that, Jamie? Scale 1 to 10.
10
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah. Well, and that's
I like
perfect.
the fact that it's like a almost like a Mexican poutine. It's like the fries or the hash with the meat and the cheese and the sauce. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, lots of protein, but also a lot to fill you up if you're having nice beers, especially that Mississippi Mud Flap IPA that's so pro brewed for the World Cup and at the Keg and Barrel. Yeah, man, killing it. But yeah, Tate, this is awesome, dude. How can people stay in touch with what you're doing and follow you and make sure they know what's up?
We're at Taymas Taqueria on Instagram. You can find us at Taymas Taqueria on Facebook. Right now, my number is all over Google and everything. Unfortunately, it's my personal number, but like I said, we had 4 weeks. But yeah, I mean, give me a call, hit us up on those platforms, and we'll get back to you.
When you do catering too, so you do
Yeah.
events.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've done a few caterings. We did a catering out at Homegrown, for that revival. I've got a catering coming up December 9th. Yeah. And you can also reach out to me at Dustin.tate56@gmail.
So all those links are in the description below. Click them, check it out, man. Your food's killer, and there's a reason it's killer, because you're doing the work. Good guy. Love to see it, man. Love to see you winning. So best of luck to you, man. And we'll definitely see you for more of the World Cup games for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Drew. I
Of
appreciate
course.
it, man.
Massive, can you play us out?
Sure.
It's a mustache. When it's